Welcome to Rebel Speak and Be Encouraged. And today I want to speak an encouraging word to any lives where despair and disappointment are resting heavy. Just resting heavy. Like the chore of life feels heavy. The thought that this is it, like every day, like I'm grounded, I'm grounded, and I can't quite, like, the water's just there, right? I can't quite gain my breath. I can't quite gain my breath. And I want to speak breath. I want to speak breath, because you're not alone, and Christ is with you. And I want to encourage you, and I want to speak. I want to speak. Right? Like we bear one another's burdens. I want to come in. I thinking especially of moms of young children where it's a lot. I remember I was a mother of 3. I am still a mother of 3. And I remember just one day getting the girls out of the car, and they were, I don't know, 3 under 5. And I just remember an older woman just saying, "Whoa, you're working hard." And the way she said it was a gift to my spirit. Like, yeah. And I look back and I have such fond memories. It's almost like I don't even fully remember that hard work. But there are times when in the midst of our blessings, we feel tired, right? We feel how much is riding on us. And I just want to encourage you that you're not alone. And I just felt to read out. I'm just going to read out these verses. They don't completely, I just felt led to read from Isaiah 9. Nevertheless, that time of darkness and despair will not go on forever. I just want to say that to you. This time of darkness and despair will not go on forever. The land of Zebulun and Naphtali will soon be humbled. And Naphtali and Zebulun are the northern, they're going to get hit by Assyria first, okay? And there's just these kind of the first, these first years, the first things can get hit the hardest. The first, Zebulun and Naphtali, they're going to get hit the hardest, okay? They're going to be humbled because Assyria is going to come in. And there's just sometimes places in our lives that have got hit first. Just hit first, that we just need to say, no, I speak forgiveness. I speak forgiveness over my circumstances. I speak forgiveness. I speak forgiveness for feeling the difficulty, okay? Even could be first children. It could be first children, like maybe, I don't know, something got hit the hardest there. I just feel to say that, no, there's something, there are places that feel a little devastated that might involve eldest or firsts, but there's a disappointment there. And here's the response. There will be a time in the future, though, when Galilee of the Gentiles, which lies along the road that runs between Jordan and the sea, will be filled with glory. I just want to say, okay, maybe in these early years, things are getting hit hard. But the very place that's being hit hard right now is going to be full of glory. Like the places where you're feeling despair and overwhelmedness right now, the nature of God is to breathe glory. He doesn't abandon you to the difficulty of the season you're in. He doesn't abandon you what's your problem? Women have been doing this for forever. Okay, women have been doing, what's your problem? No, he's not, nothing in God is abandoning you to this moment. Nothing in God is abandoned. You are not abandoned. You are not abandoned. You are not abandoned. And I just think, no, put a milestone. You're going to get through this mile, and you're going to get through it because of God's goodness. And there's going to be glory and sweetness. You're going to be met by glory and sweetness. The very place of this devastation of Zebulun and Naphtali is the place where the glory of Christ falls, where Jesus is born. The people who walk in darkness will see a great light. Hold out, speak light to yourself. Tell yourself, hey, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get through this because the light of God's love and the light of purpose and the light of meaning are with me. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Woo, it might feel alone, and that darkness might feel deep. But just know that the light of Jesus is shining. He's shining. He's shining, and you are seeing, and you are able, and you are getting through. A light that will shine on all who live in the land where death casts its shadow. I want to speak light to any despair. I want to speak light to any hopelessness. You're not alone. You're not alone. And your feet, I feel like your feet feel defeated. Okay, your feet feel defeated. There's heaviness in your step. But just know, you don't have to even have, can rejoice. We don't have to jump up and down. You can just rejoice. Say this. Breathe in. God's going to get me through this. And there's going to be blessing where it feels like disappointment, okay? There's going to be life where it feels like the shadow of death. And I want to say this, cast your cares upon the Lord. Why? Because he cares for you. He cares for you. And any part of your circumstances that are saying, no, see, God doesn't care for you, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. I'm calling it short-sightedness, nearsightedness, short-sightedness. No, there's a beautiful, beautiful long-sighted gain that you're in the midst of that's going to bring sweetness and songs of salvation. A light that will shine on all who live in the land where death casts its shadow. You will be great again. It says there's the rule, but I'm going to say you will be great again. And your people, you and the little people of your life are going to rejoice as people rejoice at harvest time. Why? Because God's going to break your chain. For God will break the chains that bind his people. Where you're bound now, this isn't the final stop, okay? Where it's heavy right now, sometimes are heavy. It's not the final stop. God's in the midst of breaking chains. God does that. Salvation does that. God's breaking the chains. The bondage is, every sense of bondage is not the final word. Israel will be great again, and its people rejoice as a people rejoice at harvest time. For God will break the chains that are binding you, his child, and the whip that seems to be scourging you. These are images of oppression, where there's someone who has the power. And I just want to speak to anything mocking too, and just say, no, do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. You, beautiful mother, will and are reaping what you are sowing. You will and are reaping what you are sowing. Just as God did when he destroyed the armies of Midian. Midian was a powerful people that had invaded the land. And Gideon, do you remember the story of Gideon? Gideon was a little band, a little tribe, the least of the least. And God has him raise up an army, and then has him whittle that army even down. And I want to say to you, in your home, I'm just speaking to moms today, in your home, beautiful mother, you are raising up a true little army of Gideons. Those are precious little Gideons, and it's not by and by. And I just want to speak to the deceiver that would have a woman in her home feeling despair and just say, you're not truth, you're a liar. You're not truth, you're a liar. And God, I ask for such joy to be resonating in that home. I pray for happiness. I pray, God, that scourging band, that whatever images are telling moms that they're inadequate, whatever cords or bonds that are kind of that scourging, right? That's the image of Jesus, scourging, those glass bits, beating his back. Like ideas of inside your own head of what your home should look like, of what a happy home is, of what peace is. I want to tell you to tell those voices, like Jesus said to Peter, get behind me. Get behind me. You're tempting me in a way that's a way of death. Even images that are sweet, that are kind of cursing you, just get behind me. Because in this little tribe, here we are, this little Gideon tribe of our family. Angels are singing and God is rejoicing, and we want to eat of that sweetness. We want to eat of that goodness. Christ died for Isaiah 9 to come, right? That the light shine where it has been darkness. And just, I want to speak to discouraging words. Say, get behind. Just tell them, discouraging words, this is never going to work. Get behind me. Discouraging words, you can't homeschool, you don't have the temperament for it. Someday if you want, I can tell you about that. Don't get behind me. 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 Just get behind me. Everything's just saying you can't do it. Your depression issues are too big. Get behind me. Get behind me. Get behind me. Get behind me. There's an old song that says, I'm going through. I don't care what the rest of the world decides to do. I've made up my mind. Ain't got time for jive. Start with the Jesus, and I'm going to go right on through. That song has gotten me through lots of things. And I want to speak the encouragement of Isaiah 9, that you are living in the age of the light, and Christ has that light, and that light is burning bright in your home. And take a breath. Look around. See the goodness and the beauty. It's right there. It's goodness and it's beauty. And that's the truth. That's the truth. God bless you.